Hey, Chef Jesse here, Uncle Jesse. Well, how you doing, folks? I hope you guys are staying safe and all that good stuff. Anyway, folks, there's a lot of traditions in Christmas, a lot of foods, a lot of things that people do, but you always hear, I always hear, you always hear about pasteles. Now, pasteles is a big. Let me, I'm constantly cleaning here. It's a big hoopaloo dish in the Latino community, especially in the Puerto Rican community. They sell it in restaurants and stuff like that, but basically it's more popular around Christmas time, and people get the whole family together and they put music on, and they want it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, which I'm going to explain to you in a few seconds. It's a lot of work, and but it pays off. It tastes delicious. Basically, pastela. It's more like it's like a if you ever ate tamales, that the South American people make in Guatemala and Mexico and everything. It's made out of cornmeal, and then it's I think they put meat inside of it and whatever, and then it's boiled and whatever it is. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with tamales, but pasteles is very similar, and pasteles is basically green bananas that have been grated down. They put this other root called yautía, that's also scraped down, grated down and put into the mix. They also use the tropical pumpkin, calabaza. They also, you grate it down. There's other things that you put in there. I'm not too familiar with this stuff, but hey, what do you want? But it's very intense. Not everybody knows how to make pasteles. It looks. Oh yeah, I can do that. But it tastes different. If you eat pasteles from 10 different people, you will get 10 different flavors. It's in the hand in the mix, and it takes a lot of work. It really does. So first of all, the pasteles are filled with meat. They're filled with meat, mostly pork, pieces of pork finely chopped up. Some people put chickpeas in it. Some people put red pimentos in it. Some people put raisins in it. Some people put they put all kind of stuff in it, and some people like them hot. They put pepper in it. They put like a whole pepper in it. I've seen that in some lady's house I ate one time years ago, about 20, 30 years ago, and it was hot as hell. Very spicy, but for the most of it, it's not spicy. So again, grated. It's based on grated green bananas and plantain and yautía. I think yautía and calabaza. So calabaza is like a tropical. It's like a squash. It's like a pumpkin. Anyway, it takes a lot of work. Depending how many you're making, you can make. There's people that make 40, 50, 60 of them for the whole holiday. So anyway, the meat. I took the meat and I took a piece of pork and I chopped it up in fine little pieces, and I made it into the meat, and I put all kind of ingredients in it and and other stuff in it. And then you also have to use annatto oil, achote. Achote is annatto. It's a seed that when you put it into oil and you warm it up, it lets out a reddish color. And annatto, believe it or not, is used in a lot of things. A lot of stuff that we eat contains annatto. If you read the ingredients, that's how they get the color. It's a food coloring. It's actually a native. It's for the natives. Indians that discovered the seed and stuff like that. So look it up, I'm telling you. So anyway, the pasteles are, after you put them together, I'm going to show you in a few minutes how to put together. I'm having trouble putting them together because I've never done it. This is my very first time making pasteles because I wanted to, I've eaten them, of course, and I like the flavor, and I wanted to make them. At least once in my lifetime, I wanted to make pasteles one time in my life, and this is it. This is the moment. So yesterday I made the mix, and I put it away in the fridge, and I made the meat, and I have the oil, and also to give it flavor, to give it traditional flavor, you use plantain leaves. So they sell this stuff in the supermarket. So I went to the supermarket and bought a whole big pack of plantain leaves. Let me show you how this looks. It's the plantain leaf like this, okay. Actually, banana leaves. This is what it looks like, banana leaves, so never mind me. So you put a piece of it in, so the pastel, to put it together, you have to put it into paper. It's a type of parchment paper, and you put the mix in there. You put the meat, and you put whatever other ingredients you're putting into it, and you put it on top of this banana leaf, and then you wrap it up in the parchment paper. So anyway, I just got a message in it. I don't know. Anyway, folks, I'm going to show you how it's done and how I put it together. I'm trying to do my best because I've never put this together, so bear with me. Okay, so give me a moment here. Let me see where I'm going to put this tripod. So, folks, you got to bear with me because this is the first time I do this. So this is your parchment paper type. I guess it's a parchment paper. You can cook in this. So you lay it out. You need a lot of room in your kitchen, which I don't have. But bear with me. So this is your banana leaf, okay? And this gives it flavor. This, when you cook it, it's going to give it flavor. So you lay that down here. I'm going to use some annatto grease, okay? Now, for those watching their weights, this is one of those foods that you can't tell how many calories it's got, how much sugar intake, how much salt. You know, if you're on a diet looking at the back of, you're not going to find nutritional information on this because, you know, I don't know, there is none. This is a traditional, this was made, I guess, but created by the Indians, the native Indians of Puerto Rico and I guess the tropical islands, the Taino Indians or whatever they were called. And so anyway, I got my mix here, and it's a mix of bananas, and like I said, bananas and pumpkin and some green plantains. I'm going to take about like I said, I'm not, this is the first time. I'm going to take about a spoonful and lay it out like this. Looks like cement, you know. There you go, mixing cement. Hey, cement shoes. So you're going to put this like this, and I'm going to add maybe a little dab here. Like I said, this is my first time making these things, and I'm just experimenting because I've tasted pasteles so many times from different people, and everyone has a different flavor. I just bought some for Thanksgiving from a friend of mine who makes wonderful pasteles, and a shout out to her. Her name is Belinda, and a shout out to her. She inspired me to make my own pasteles. I said, I bought them all for her, and they were very good, and I probably will buy again. But I said to myself, I need to try to make pasteles myself. So anyway, folks, I'm putting in the meat in there. At this time, you could put people put chickpeas, people put olives, people put raisins, all kind of stuff. And like I said, for this one for show, I'm gonna put some olives in there, just to show you on this one. The other ones I hadn't put the raisins in. So anyway, the trick to this is that you have to know how to wrap this up, and this is the tricky part, and this is the part that I'm having trouble with. So I'm going to swing this way here, and I'm going to leave about an inch on top, okay? And then I'm going to squeeze here, okay? This is the way, I studied for this. I looked at videos and all kind of what have you. So I got about an inch up here, and I'm going to fold this up like an envelope, seal it off, okay? Seal that off, nice. And then I'm going to start to fold. I'm going to fold once. Doesn't matter how many times you fold, just me. And I'm going to fold again. Actually, I'm going to fold a little bit closer so that I don't end up with that gap, okay? So here we go. So there we go. So I didn't center it too much. I didn't center it right, but I should have centered it right. So at the ends, I'm going to close this up in here, and I'm going to squeeze here, and I'm going to go like this, right? There you go. And there goes your pastel. And what you're going to do, you got to tie this up with string, like a package, and then you're going to put this in boiling water with salt, and you're going to cook it for an hour. And an hour later, you're going to cut this paper open, and the pastel is going to come out, and it's going to be so delicious. So, right now, I'm hoping they come out good. The meat and everything tastes good. You got to flavor the meat. It's very important that you flavor the meat good, because the meat will give it flavor. So when you're grating when you're grating this, You know, when you make grating all this mixture, you could use a fruit processor, you could use a blender, a good blender, because this stuff is hard. And you could use, they also make Amazon makes Pasteles machines that make this stuff. So again, green bananas, you got to grate them down. You got to make a mix. It's a batter. That's what it is. That's one more of a batter. And I'm going to show you how it looks. And it's a batter, and then you got to put it together, and then the meat, and and all that stuff. So I'm going to show you how this looks. Let me show you how this looks. So this is your batter, okay? This is the batter that you're going to make the pasteles, and this goes a long way. It really does. I've already made about 2, 4, 6, 8. I've already made about 8 or 12 pasteles. And this was just filled up to here, and then there goes your annatto seeds, achote, and your meat. Okay, I got my meat here, which I made, and some of this juice, when you're cooking, goes into this mix. And also you have to put milk in it. Some people put carnation milk, some people put regular milk, but you have to soften it up. You have to mix this until it gets soft. That's another thing I forgot to tell you. You just can't, after you mix all that stuff up and you put the annatto coloring in it to give it that yellowish color, you have to mix this, and you have to mix it, and you mix it and mix it and mix it and mix it again and mix it again and mix it some more till it gets nice and soft, so that you can you can work with it, okay? Because if not, when you boil it, you're gonna get a break. It's gonna turn out to be a break. So anyway, folks, these are my pasteles already done, and they're already assembled. They're already assembled, and then the hard part is tying them up. So after I just got them in a tray there, stacking them up, and then they go tied back to back in bundles of 2. So pasteles traditional always come in bundles of 2. So I'll take 2 of these. Let me show you. I'll take 2 of these and back to back, and it's leaking a little. Back to back like this, and then tie them up. So they're leaking a little bit, I don't know. But anyway, folks, I am trying my best to make pasteles, and then when they're done, of course, I'm going to show you how it turns out, and hopefully it turns out good, because Uncle Jesse, we cook a lot of stuff, and Anyway, folks, we'll see you soon when I cook these things.